everybody, it's Wendy, and today we are going to be working with Sam's bead box. So this month's bead box was inspired by Danielle Wicks, and it's a coffee lovers theme. Now, one thing about this box this month is Danielle is going to have a special bracelet here that she's going to do. So she's going to do this bracelet on August 25th in a class, and so I'm going to keep those things separate just because I don't want to use the things that she's set aside for that bracelet. So it's the leather cord, the apple blossom button, the 2-hole tilas, and the seed beads. Okay, so those things we will not be using in this challenge. But for this challenge, we are going to make as many his and her bracelet sets as we can. Now, this idea came from my son. So I'm sitting here yesterday. I'm at my mom and dad's. I'm not at home, and I've been here for about a week, and I'm going to be here for another week. So I brought my Sam's bead box, and I'm sitting here. My son Logan is sitting across the table from me, and I'm saying, you know, I've done all these challenges for Sam's box, and I don't know what to do with this one. I need a new idea. So in about 3 seconds, he comes up with all kinds of ideas. So I think I need to hire him to be my marketing director. But he said, do his and her sets. That would be really cool. And I'm like, oh, that would be really cool. So yeah, great idea, Logan. I got to give him the credit, and that's what we're going to do. So this stretch bracelet I have already made. And the reason that I've done this already is because I am giving bracelets to all the healthcare workers that have been working with my dad and helping him. So this is a male. Tyler is his name, and he is a physical therapist at the nursing home where my dad has been, and he's going to get this bracelet. So I'm going to make the her version. This is a his, and we're going to do the hers, okay? And I have pulled in some other beads from my stash just because Sam's bead box usually has enough beads that I don't ever have to pull in anything. But with them being his and hers, you kind of have to be specific as to, you know, the girls need to look a little girlier and the guys need to look a little guy-er or male. And so I've had to pull in a few beads just, you know, to make that happen, but not very many. We're still going to be using 99% beads from Sam's bead box, okay? But what I've done here is I do have these little coconut beads. These are little coconut spacers. So here they are. So when I made this bracelet initially, I did not even know what I was going to do for the Sam's Bead Box Challenge. I just knew that these were the most masculine beads that I had here with me at my parents' house. So that's why I used them. And then, you know, when Logan said do the his and hers, I was like, oh, okay, well, I'll just make the mate to this one. So this is the his, and it is using these beautiful bronzite beads on here. And I did a dangle. This is a bail, just a regular, you can get these anywhere. I have some on my website. They're also available on Amazon. These are the drucks, the check drucks that were in the box. And then I have mixed some of these coconut spacers in. So, and we're using stretch cord. And this is the stretch cord that came in the curated bead box. So I don't even know what millimeters or anything it is. It's just stretch cord that came in the curated bead box. So that's what I'm using. So for the girl version of this, you're going to need, I'm going to use some more of these bronzite beads, some of the round ones, and probably this one as a dangle. So these need to be matching. They need to be similar, but they don't obviously need to be identical because we're trying to make this one a little more feminine. It's the hers version, okay? So here's what we're going to do. I have pulled in a few, like I said, I've had to add a few things. So I've pulled in these bicones because they're sparkly and will add some femininity to the bracelet. And then I've pulled in these just to have them match this. You know, we want that to match. So I've got the bail. I did pull in some 5-petal bead caps. They're 6 millimeters. I have 3 of the drucks left, and we'll put them on here just to make it coordinate. And I have a size 3 crimp bead, and we're going to use that for crimping our stretch cord so this doesn't come undone. And this is just a technique that I use. If you don't like it, you can close your stretch cords however you want, but I like to use this technique. I've never had one come undone on me, and so I trust it. All right, so what we're going to do, when I do stretch bracelets, especially the kind with a bail like this where we can add a dangle I also have a ball head pin where we can add a dangle and hide our knot. So that bail works for two different purposes there. So I like to take my stretch cord, stretch it out, warm it up in between your fingers and stretch it out a little bit. This just keeps it from stretching out after you've made the bracelet and then the bracelet being too loose, okay? And then I like to take my focal or, one of my bigger beads and put in the middle. So we're just going to put this guy on here. Now, I have to kind of decide how I want to lay this out, but your general thought needs to be this. This is going to be the back of your bracelet. You're going to bead this up both sides and come around, and we're going to end with this bail. The bail will have the dangle on it or the charm or whatever you want to put on it. So this part here needs to be more your focal than this part back here, okay? So you just need to keep that in mind when you're doing your beading. So like with these 3 beads, I probably am going to try to put them up around here somewhere. I could put one back here because I have 3, or I could use one on the dangle. So what do I want to do? I think I will put this one in the very back of the bracelet. So here's what I'm going to do. Instead of that other bead, let's do this bead. And you kind of just need to lay it here and look at how you want it to go. So let me scoot this down just a little. Like I said, I'm not at home, so I don't have my normal camera set up, and I'm a little just, I don't know, at a disadvantage with that. So I'm sorry if the filming is not as good as it normally is. Okay, I'm going to add a coconut bead to either side. And then I'm going to add a sparkly bicone to either side. And again, I'm just actually, you know what? I'm going to put this bead, sorry guys, I'm going to put the bead caps on this bead. So I'm going to do that. I want a bead cap on here. The bead caps, I think, just add so much to it, especially when you're trying to add kind of a feminine touch. Now, bead caps aren't necessarily feminine, that's not what I'm saying. But on this, with this flower petal one, it just adds a little more to it and makes it look a little more, in my opinion, a little more feminine. So, and I did a male bracelet before, and I had a bunch of people get on there and they're like, that's too feminine, and don't do that. It's all personal preference, really, and my son would easily wear this bracelet. He would easily probably wear this bracelet, but it's really not, it's totally personal preference, so you can't really say something is, too feminine or too masculine for somebody. If you think it's too feminine, then add some masculinity to it. If you think it's too masculine, add some femininity to it. But please don't get on here and tell me that you think it looks too masculine or too feminine or vice versa, because, it's all personal preference, really. So here we go. Now this one, I think, because we're adding these bicones in, I think it's going to be, cute. I think it'll be fine for a girl. Even without the bicones, a girl could wear it, but, I do like to add some sparkle and stuff. And if we're doing his or her sets, you do want there to be a contrast there. So, all right. So you can see how I'm beating this up. Just trying to kind of space things out a little, get some of the sparkle in there. These two I really want to be around here at the front. So I'm just kind of... And the size again, you have to kind of know if you're making these to sell, okay, then you can do, I normally do between 6 and 7 inches for a female, between 7 and 8 inches for a male, just because, that's the way it tends to go. Stretchy bracelets are really good. You don't have to worry too much about getting the exact sizing. You just have to make sure that it's not super loose or super tight. So with the woman's bracelet, well, with the men's bracelet too. So with this bracelet, I put it on. It's a little loose on me, so I figure that's probably going to be good for most men. And then the woman's bracelet, I will do the same. I will put it on and just see how it fits, and because I tend to have a small wrist, I'll make it a little bit bigger than my tiny wrist, but you know, you just don't want it to be too huge, or that's the issue with stretch bracelets, is getting them. So I try to lay it out here and just, you know, judge this way. It's not always perfect, but it's okay. So we're going to add in another one of these. These bronzite beads are just absolutely so beautiful. I'm going to add this one in. So for all of you who have asked about my dad, and a lot of people have, and I appreciate it so much, my dad is stage 4 renal failure, and he has just a lot of complex physical issues. And so he was very sick here a few months back and went in the hospital. He had pneumonia, he had, I don't know, just a bunch of different things going on. And so he was in the hospital for 29 days. And so when he leaves the hospital after 29 days, he is too weak to walk and stuff on his own. So he has to go to skilled nursing. So he was in the skilled nursing place for like 3 weeks, 4 weeks, something like that. And then they decided that he was ready to go home. The insurance decided that. And so he was not ready to go home. He's unable to walk. He really is dicey transferring him from the bed to his wheelchair so he can get to the dialysis room here. It's been very, very just nerve-wracking for all of us. So, you know, my mom and I are not really strong enough to do that on our own, and so we are having to have my son come over, or my nephew, or if my brother's here, whoever is around that can help. But yeah, it's been an issue. So I'm home. I've been home for a week, and I've got another week here, but I don't know, you know, if he's not stronger and able to motor a little bit better than he has so far, then I won't be able to go back home. I'll have to stay for another little bit till he's able to get around by himself and not be in a danger of falling or getting hurt. So, so yeah, there's, you know, it's been kind of crazy, but keep praying for him, all you that have been praying. I really do appreciate it, and pray for my mom. She definitely needs needs prayer too. But that's where I'm at. That's why I am working not in my normal setting, and my pictures don't look like they normally do, and you know, with my jewelry and all this stuff. So that's what's going on. I am not at my house. So it's nice to get to come home. I hate it that it had to be under that kind of a circumstance, you know, but I do enjoy being here and getting to see my parents and my boys, and it's really nice. Okay, so here we have it. Now I will try this on. This fits me pretty perfectly. By the time I put the little closure on, it's going to be slightly loose, but not huge. So I think we're going to go with this size right here, which is, if I measure, we're looking at, well, it's about 7 inches. So that's a little bit bigger than what I would normally do for a female, but when we tie this up, it's going to, you know, shrink in a little bit because it's a stretch cord. So I'm going to put the little bell on here. And I've got my 2 cords here, and I'm going to just tie an overhanded knot. Now, here's what we do. I am tying the knot, and I want, see, it looks really tiny there. Let me put it back on and make sure that it's, yeah, I think it'll be okay. Okay, so I tie the knot, I pull this tight, but I want to make sure that there is enough space in here that these beads can lay flat, and you just don't want it to be so tight that it's pinching up all your beads and making them lay weird, okay? So just give it a little bit of extra room on this kind. And then I'm going to make a surgeon's knot. So I've got my regular knot where I pulled it and got it the tension that I want and the tightness that I want. Now I'm going to do this surgeon's knot, which is 2. You go through twice instead of just once. So you make your knot like you normally would, but instead of just going through the loop once, you go twice. Again, I'm going to kind of stretch and make sure that it's not too tight. That's looking pretty good. Now here's what I do to finish the stretch bracelet. So we've got this bail here. So this, what I do is not going to show, okay? Now if I didn't have a bail here and I was just doing regular beads, I probably would just tie the knot and maybe put some glue on it. I don't have any glue here. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to take this crimp bead, put it on, and then I'm going to take the other piece of stretch cord and put it through here. And this can be a little tricky to get through, but you can do it. If you have, this is a size 3 crimp bead, and I just pulled it out. So I'm just going to put this right through here. I hope y'all can see what I'm doing. I know the lighting is not real good in here, and I'm so sorry. There we go. Oh, for heaven's sake. There we go. And Chris is calling. I'll be right back. Okay, so sorry. The Chris called. I had to answer that. All right, so now we're going to do the dangle here. And I do want to add, I want to make the dangle match this one, but I want to add a couple of these little bicones just for the sparkle effect. And let's look at this. So if I put this bicone on and then put this bead cap on facing down, then put this on, that's really cute. Put this bead cap on facing up and put another bicone. See how pretty that is? That's a cute little, so we're going to do a wrapped loop. So a wrapped loop, you want to come down a little bit from your bead. Now, if I would bend this over that close to the bead, it would crush, you know, it would cause my bead to crack. Gosh, this lighting is so bad. Normally, it's sunnier in here, but I think it's overcast outside. All right, so I'm going to take this, I'm going to bend it 90 degrees. And then I am going to trim, no, I'm not going to trim it. We're going to do a wrap loop. I'm not even thinking straight. So I'm going to grab right in here in the bend. And I'm going to come up and over, just like that, and push this up, and then come under. So I have this. Now, if you want to attach this with a jump ring, you can. I'm just going to put it right on here. Just like that. Okay. And then I'm going to grab this right here and I'm going to wrap. Now you can wrap with your fingers. This head pin is a little bit thicker, so I'm going to get my pliers and wrap. And you want to wrap down towards your beads so that it holds them tighter. And what I'm doing here is messing myself up. It's kind of hard to grab when you've got the loop here of the you're trying to hang on to the loop that is on the bail, and that's a little bit difficult. So I've got it kind of crooked there, but okay, here we go. Now this is awkward because of the, there we go. And it's kind of hard, but I do have a thick bicone, or a thick jump ring, or gosh, a thick head pin here too, so that's part of my problem. But there you go. So if you get it on there, and I'm probably going to redo it and put it on with a jump ring, because that's just too hard. My loop there is, even if I trim this off, my loop is very messy, and I don't really want it to be that messy. A messy wrap I don't mind, but yeah, that looks kind of weird. But anyway, this is the general gist of what you're going to get. And I'll change that over in a minute without making y'all watch me, because I'm just going to do the same thing and just attach it with a jump ring. But here is the his version and the hers version of this one. And we still have a lot of beads. This is only our first set, so stay tuned. I'm going to keep on doing sets, and we're going to see how many his and her sets we can make out of this one Sam's bead box. So hold on, I'll be right back. Okay, for the second set, I'm just going to show you really quickly what we're going to use. We're going to use this dragonfly bead. We're going to use some of these drucks, these table cut rectangle beads, the saucer beads, some of these little fire polish, and then I'm doing rose gold for the girls and copper for the guys. So I have a copper ring and a copper lobster. I've got copper clamshells and copper wire guards, a couple of copper crimp beads, And then on the girls, I've got 2 copper clamshells, rose gold clamshells, rose gold wire guards, a rose gold lobster, and I didn't have a rose gold rings for the lobster to clasp onto, so we're just going to use the copper. I've got I added in these metal beads. These are from my own stash. I have 2 ball head pins, one in a lighter copper and one in a more bronzy color, just because I want to try to differentiate between the two a little bit. I have some of these bead caps still from the last one and a few jump rings here. Got a couple copper jump rings, and then I have some bead stringing wire. So this is 19 strand bead stringing wire, and you can use any that you have. And I think that's everything that we're going to pull out for this set. I think we may add in a couple things later. I don't know. I could use these copper rings for the clasp instead of these. I don't know. We'll see. We may do that, but yeah. So anyway, let's go ahead and let's work on the girls first, okay? So for the girls, I'm definitely going to stick with more of the lighter colors, even though I'm going to mix in some of the dark so that they match. Just trying to separate my beads here a little bit. And these I'm saving for the guys, so we're not going to use any of those on the girls. Okay, so here we have, I'm going to go ahead and I'm not going to close off my end yet. I'm just going to go ahead and put this big focal bead on. Okay, and that's going to be the middle. And let's see, I've got some bead caps. I've got these little guys. I'm going to use some of the saucers. Let's do a couple saucers here. So I'm going to do 2 saucers on this side and 2 on this side. And then we're going to do a bead cap, this guy, and a bead cap. Whoops, a bead cap. Okay, I don't like the way that looks. That's too masculine. We've got to keep it a little more feminine just because we're doing, we want to differentiate between the his and her. So we're just going to put the bead cap on. And then this bead. And the other bead cap. Same on the other side. Yeah, I like that better. And I'm just trying to keep them very similar and use a lot of the same beads, but I really do want to make it like when you pick them up, you would know which one's the girls and which one's the guys. I want it to be that obvious. Let's do one of these little guys here. This one. And now I think I want to do a saucer. I do want to use these saucers. I just don't want them to look, when I had them both there, they looked a little too masculine for this bracelet. Okay. In my opinion, again, it's totally, it's a very individual thing. So, you really, some women like them more masculine, some men like them less masculine. You just have to know your audience and who you're making this for. But for this specific project, I'm trying to do a pretty big difference between the two because his and her set, I kind of want them to be able to tell the difference. Okay, so I'm going to do one of these little fire polish beads. They add a lot of sparkle. But these, thankfully, are a darker matte color, so they're not going to add a huge, they're not going to look really girly. All right, now, let's do another of these guys. Okay, and this one. And then we'll do another druck with the bead cap. So I'm not really doing any pattern. I'm just I'm doing the same thing on one side as I do on the other, but I'm not really making it a pattern in any way. Just kind of randomly beading the way that I think that it looks good. Okay, so that's looking good. Let's do another one of these. Another one of those. Come on now, it's this, I think my wire here is a little frayed because my cutters are so terribly dull. There we go. Okay, so now we've got that. Let's do a saucer, a bead cap, and a druck. Okay, another bead cap, and another one of these guys. Okay. Now this kind of a bracelet, you have to be a little more careful about your length because it's not stretchy. So you don't have a whole lot of, give there to work with. So you have to do your measurements a little more carefully. What did I do? Oh, this one. Okay. So right now we're small still. We've got 5 inches. Now our clasp, and I think I am going to use the copper ring. So our clasp is going to add about an inch, maybe close to 1.5 inches, okay? So we want to be a little bit careful there. Let me do another saucer here. Saucer. A couple more of these guys. Okay. All right. So now if we measure, we're right at 6 inches. So we definitely need to go ahead and put our clasp on. So I am going to do one of these little fire polish beads on each end just to kind of give it I think it makes it look a little more finished. And now, okay, let me just preface this because I know everybody's going to get upset. The way I'm going to crimp on this is not the way that you should crimp, okay? I forgot my crimping pliers at home. And if I'm going to finish this video while I'm here, instead of waiting an entire week to go home and finish it, I'm going to have to crimp the best that I can, which is not optimal, okay? And I get that. So please, please, please do not get in the comments and yell at me for crimping wrong. I know this is not the way you're supposed to crimp, but if I don't have crimping pliers, there's not a whole lot I can do about it at this point. So I will preface with that. This video is going to be that way, and I am very sorry. In the future, if you watch my videos or the past, you will see that I do know how to crimp. But, for this video, I don't have my crimping pliers, so I don't really have any choice. And I have ordered some to have here, but they're not here yet, and so I've got to get things done when I can get them done. Believe me, we've got a lot going on here, and while Dad's on dialysis, I've got to get this done. So, all right. So what we're going to do is we're going to crimp, and we're going to use our clamshell connectors. Now, if you have to do this and you don't feel good about it, you can stick a dab of glue in here, and it will definitely help, okay? But like I said, I'm just going to do the best that I can do right now. And so maybe if you're stuck somewhere without crimping pliers, one day you'll remember this video and be like, oh, I can still do this. Okay, so we're going to put our clamshell connector on, just like this. And then I'm going to put on 2 crimp beads. Yes, 2. Okay. I am coming, excuse me, to the end of my wire here. Leaving just a little bit, so we're not on the very, very end. And I'm just taking my chain nose pliers and smashing them down. Now, here's the thing. You want to make sure that they are very tight, and those are. And if you have ever accidentally put a crimp bead on beading wire and then tried to get it off, you will understand that this will not come apart easily, okay? Especially using 2 crimp beads. I'm going to close up this clamshell, and if you wanted, you could put a dab of glue in there, and that would definitely help with security, but I don't have any glue here either, so I'm working on limited resources. Let's just put it that way. So my other one, I did the same thing. Put the clamshell connector on. You want to just hold this up, let gravity do the work. You don't want it to be too tight or too loose, and you just are going to flatten those down, just like we did the other ones. And I know, so please, please understand, this is not how I would normally do this, but I am at a disadvantage. And this way you can kind of see that there is another way. It may not be the optimal, wonderful way, but there is another way that it can be done. I'm going to open that up a little so I can get down in there really good. You do need to make sure that these are crimped very tightly, okay? That's the thing. Just make sure that you've got them flattened down really tightly. Tug on it. If it's going to come loose, you want it to come loose now and not later. And then we're going to close this up. Okay. It's hard to get closed when you've opened it back as wide as I did. Now, like I said, if I had some glue, I would probably stick some down in there, but I do not. Okay, so now we're going to put our clasp on. So I've got some stuff here for that. And what we're going to do is we are going to take our ring. And you know what? I am going to use a jump ring on this. So I'm going to roll this down. You just take your round nose pliers and roll that into a loop. I don't really like to use this type of clamshell connector either that don't have the closed loop, but you just have to be sure and roll it up there. Make sure that it's rolled up into a good loop. Okay, and then we're going to put our ring on. And then we're going to put our lobster over here. Now, I wish I had some smaller rose gold or gold tinted jump rings, but I do not. Again, I'm at a disadvantage. There is Walmart here, and there is Hobby Lobby, but I don't have a car. I mean, my mom has a car, but I hate to take her car, and then, you know, she would need it to go somewhere, so I don't really want to just take off, and so, yeah. And she might need me for my dad. Okay, so here we have it. Cute, cute, cute. Now that, to me, looks feminine. I would not really think that, I mean, that doesn't look too masculine to me. So what can we do? What do you think that we can do on this one to do it? We're not going to use the bead caps, and we're not going to use the rose gold to start. That's one thing we're going to do. So I'm going to take this, again, just like I did on the last one. I'm going to string this guy on the middle. Now, because this is the focal on this one, I really want to do something kind of like noticeable with this bead here because it does match that bead. So what I'm going to do is put this guy on. And then I think I'm going to do one of these on either side. Okay. And then a saucer bead on either side. Just one. I'm not going to do two. And then another of these guys on either side. Okay, just like that. Then I'm again going to do the little fire polish. Just like this. And the little saucer. Oops, put that one on the wrong side, didn't I? Okay, so just like that. Again, one here, and one here. Our little fire polish. Now I'm going to do I want to do another one of these guys? I guess I do. There's no point in having one bead left. So I'm going to do my saucer, put this guy on here, do my fire polish and my saucer. Actually, no, I'm just going to do the fire polish. Okay, now we're going to put in one of these guys. So let's go double saucer. So 1, 2, and this guy. Okay, same on the other side. 1, 2, and this guy. So now for all of those women that say, my husband says I spend too much money on beads, you can go, oh, but honey, I'm making you and me matching bracelets. And they'll be like, oh, yeah. So there you go. Because I think all of our husbands think we spend too much money on beads, which is probably valid. We probably do, but, you know, gotta live, right? Life is life, and we might as well enjoy it while we can. I don't spend a lot of money on makeup or anything. I'm not one of those kind of girls that's got to have brand names. So I look at my bead addiction as, you know, replacement for that other more expensive girl stuff that I don't do. So there we have it. So this one, of course, is the male version. So it's, you know, going to need to be a little bit bigger. So actually, I think what I'm going to do now is go like this. Let's take one of these. I like this one. It's turning out good. Logan may steal this one from me. And one of these. Then we're going to go 2 saucers. Two saucers. This one. Same over here. 2 saucers. Okay. And the druck. And then I need to look at my length because I don't want to get it too crazy big. Oh my, I knew I was going to do that. I knew while I was doing that I was going to do that. So yeah, I should have just not done that, right? I didn't bring bead bugs either. There's only so much you can take on a plane, you know? Okay. So that actually, by the time I get the clasp on, is going to be pretty big. So let's put these, I do the fire polish beads to finish. I think that looks good. And then again, we're going to do the same thing. So we've got our crimp beads. I need to grab a couple more. And our clamshell. Okay. Gonna put, I said, I did say crimp beads. I'm so not focused today. So I'm just so out of my element. All right, so I'm going to put the 2 crimps on, coming up here at the top, and I'm just going to flatten them down like I did last time. And again, you want to flatten them very well. And we're going to take our clamshell, pull it, make sure it's secure, and if you need to put some glue in there, go for it. Okay. Same over here. And it does help if on this end, because you don't have as much room to work with, you know, you're kind of more closed in on this side. If you open that up, you can kind of get in a little bit better, whereas over there we had a little more space. And I'm just going to let gravity do the work there again and crimp these down. Make sure they're tight. Pull them and trim this off. Close this up. There we have it. So now we're just going to use our copper rings. Is that them? Yeah, there they are. Copper, and we've got this one. And we're just going to attach everything just like we did on the other one. And I think it looks pretty good. I think it's a good coordinating set that you could definitely tell goes together. Tell me, yeah, that clamshell is not, the hole's not poked through totally. It's not, and I don't have my beading. Yes, I do have a beading awl. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Oh, I do. So if you're, sometimes this happens with these clamshell connectors. They don't get all the way through, and I just try to take a beading awl and poke a hole through it. If you can't, yeah. Yeah, hold on. Okay, so because I don't want to punch a hole in my finger or my mom's table, I'm going to trim this off because I cannot really get that beading awl to go through it. So this one, in this case, the best thing to do would be to restring it. But you could just put a dab of glue in there and close that up, and it will be okay. It's really not a lot different than this kind, except for we roll the loop under on that kind. But I would put a little dab of glue in there. So probably when I get home and have glue, I will open that up and put some glue in it, and it'll be fine. So here is our guy bracelet. I know we're running into all kinds of problems, but I'm sorry, guys. I'm just totally out of my element. So here's our guy bracelet, and here is our girl bracelet. So tell me what you think. Can you tell they are, you know, a set? I hope you can. So there's his and hers on that one. So we've done his and hers here. So we've got his and hers, and his and hers here. So that's 4. I mean, that's 2 sets, 4 bracelets. So let's see what else we can come up with. Okay, so we're back, and we're going to work on this one now. I'm going to do the girls first, just because I need to see what I have left over to put on the guys. But I'm going to do the girls first. I think it'll be easier, this one. So this is a bit of a challenge, coming up with male and female bracelets for everything, so with these beads. So it's kind of fun, but it is a challenge. So what we have here is I have the little fire polish beads, the saucer beads, these faceted rounds, these leaves, these drucks, and this big focal we're going to use on the girls. And then I'm using gold this time, so I've got 2 gold clamshell connectors, a couple of gold jump rings, a lobster clasp in gold, and some bead caps in gold, and then my gold crimp beads here. Because again, I do not have my crimping pliers here, so I'm going to be crimping the illegal way. Okay. And I have some bead stringing wire. This is 19 strand, and it's in a gold color. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is string on our focal, right like this. Now, I want to make this look feminine, but I also, well, obviously it's going to with this, but I also want to incorporate the same beads that I'm going to use a little bit on the other one. Now, I'm obviously not going to have a flower on the other one. I will, but not totally. Okay, so here's what we're going to use for the other one. So we'll just have to see how this one comes out. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I am going to, let's do a bead cap. And this pretty little druck here. Same thing on the other side. Bead cap. This druck. And then bead caps again. There you go. And now we're going to put a leaf on either side. One of these guys. It doesn't really matter how you put these on because they do flip around, so it really doesn't matter. Okay, just like that. Then I'm going to do, let's see here. Let's do one of these guys. another leaf. It's trying to be difficult. Okay. Just like that. Then we're going to do another one of these. And another leaf. Okay. Just like that. Now I'm going to do one of these guys on either side, only because I'm trying to incorporate these beads in, because I'm going to use them on the guys. So I want there to be the matching beads somewhere on the girl version. So let's put these guys on here. And then I'm going to do a bead cap, another druck, and a bead cap. Same thing on this side, bead cap, the druck, and the bead cap. Okay, and then I'm going to do another one of these. And these are an ombre kind of shade. You have to be a little bit careful. I pulled out all of the darker, the real dark ones, to use on another bracelet. So I won't have the darker ones on this one. They're going to be used on another bracelet, so just keep that in mind. Okay, I'm going to do this guy, this guy, this one. Okay, and see how long we've got now. Where am I? There we go. So right now we're right about at 6 inches. So I'm going to add one more of these, and then we're going to crimp. Oh, and I forgot the saucers, didn't I? I did not use the saucers at all. And we're going to wait on the saucers. Okay, so now I'm going to take my 2 crimp beads and my clamshell. I'm going to put the clamshell on here. I'm going to add on the 2 crimps. I'm going to flatten them. Just like this. I'm going to pull this up and make sure, give it a very good tug test. It's good. I'll close it up. Okay, so I went ahead and did the other end, and now we're just going to put the clasp on. So I've got the bigger ring for the lobster to clasp onto. And we're going to close this one up. I'll show you guys a trick. When you have a thick ring like this, and you're trying to use your pliers like this, you don't get very good grip. It's really hard. If you put your pliers like this, and then you still have to do the back and forth movement. You still can't, you know, open it by pulling this way, but it does help a little to, it gives you a little more leverage to do this back and, or the back and forth movement with. And then this ring is kind of, these rings were not the best, and they didn't seem like they were cut very good, cut right, so I have to kind of work with them a little bit anyway to get them flat. Yeah, they're not the best rings, but they are pretty thick and good for the lobster to clasp onto. Okay, and then we've got our small ring to put our lobster on. See, this is a thick jump ring too. And I like the thick ones, but they're sometimes just hard to get leveraged on to get them open and closed. Okay, there we go. So here we have our girls version, which is very girly and pretty. I do like it. It's cute. Those leaves will flop around a little. That's okay. And I may actually add another ring on here just so it's not quite so... It's got a little room for adjustment if somebody wants to adjust it around. There we go. That one did better. Okay, so here's our girl version. Now we're going to have to work on our guy version. So this was a little bit of a challenge. So we're going to use this piece right here on the guy one. And actually I could do a dangle on here with this leaf because I just have this one leaf left over. So I kind of would like to do that, but these are Bracelet drilled. I have no wire to wrap with. Let me see if I have a jump ring that will be big enough and thin enough to get through that. That's the challenge when you're not in your home element. Let's see. I might have a bronze one that would work. Let's see if this would work. No. All right. Let's see if we can... Yeah, these aren't going to go through here, and I don't have any wire. So really this guy is not going to work on this bracelet, I don't think. I hate to have one left over though. I'm trying to use them all. That's going to bug me. But okay, well we'll do what we have to do. So here's the girl. Now we are going to grab some more bead stringing wire. This is the same that I just used, and we're just going to cut it here. Okay, turn that off. Okay, now this we're going to hook on with a jump ring here. And let me just go ahead and do that so we can kind of see how we want things to go. Because I also need to hang this leaf from this, and I'm not sure how I'm going to do that. I might be able to do something with a head pin. We'll see here in a minute. Okay. Now, I want to hang this leaf on here because we want this one to coordinate with this one. And so, you know, I'm only using this piece really because it's more manly. This challenge is... Logan gave me a good challenge here. This one's very interesting. So here is a head pin. I don't have any wire, but I do have this head pin. So let's put this head pin through here come to the middle if we can. We're going to bend this up and make a little kind of a triangle shape there, okay? Then I'm going to take this one and holding my straight, this one, longer one straight here, I'm going to take this one and bend it 90 degrees. And I'm going to wrap it around a couple of times. Okay, this is not real easy to do with a head pin, let me just say. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and wrap this down toward my bead. And a messy wrap is okay. And that's what I'm doing. And I'm just wrapping it around several times. It's just, it does not need to look neat. This is a guy's bracelet. Not that guys aren't neat, but this one I'm going for a little messier look. I'm going to tuck that in a little bit. Okay, now we've got this. I'm going to bend this 90 degrees. We are going to come up and over with our head pin, come around and make the loop, and then just wrap like you would a regular wrapped loop. And that wrap is just going to blend in with the other wrap. And we're going to trim this right off the end of the head pin. So if you have a long enough head pin, you can do that. If you don't have a really long head pin, you can probably still do it, just a little more carefully and condensed. Okay, so we're going to take this piece, we're going to hang it right on here, just like that. Here again with these thick jump rings. Okay, so there's our focal. Now let's do this. Let's put this right on here. Okay, now because here we have these, I'm going to try to use these beads right beside it. Now I'm not going to use bead caps because I'm trying to keep it a little more masculine, and the bead caps are flower petals, so I don't really want to do that. But I do have these bead caps, and these bead caps look kind of like spacers. They don't look so much like a bead cap because they're kind of flat. So I thought I might use them, but I'm not sure. And I thought about even, so we've got those guys on there. I thought about even doing this, taking the saucer, the bead cap, doing another bead cap facing it, because they are cupped a little, and then this saucer. And let's see what that looks like. See, that looks, I like that. That's kind of manly. But I didn't use any of the saucers on here, so I think I am going to not do that. I can use these and these. So let's see what we can do here. So we got this guy. Let's do the bead caps like that. It makes them almost look like spacers, so it's kind of cool. And then let's do another of these. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to do the same thing over here. My little brown bead. Put these bead caps to where the cupping parts face each other. And this right here. Okay, so how's that look? That's not bad. And we've got our little leaf on there, so the leaf kind of is hopefully going to tie this in with this a little bit. I know this one's not going to be identical, definitely not going to be as identical close as the other one, but you got to do what you got to do, and I'm doing the best I can here. So we're going to add some more of these guys on, and then I'm going to go for some of these. So I'm just going to do like 1, 2, 3, and then another of the little fire polish beads. Okay, so 1, well, 1, they have tiny little holes, 2, 3, and the little fire polish. Okay, so that's actually looking pretty good. It's not exactly, I mean, I still think you can tell they go together, I hope. So let's do one of these guys and a bead cap. Let's do another one of those. Let's do the bead caps again like this. Oh, do I have another one? I do. Okay. Okay, just like that. And then another of these. Where'd the other one go? Okay. So I am running low. I hope I have enough to finish this neck or this bracelet with these. So let's do another of these. And we'll go ahead with 3 of these. Well, goodness, these are not easy to get on there, and my lighting is not the best. There we go, 3 of those. Okay, another of these. 3 more of these. Okay. So over here, I need the 3, 1, and 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 3. So just like that. Then I'm going to do another one on either side of these. Now, that's not long enough just yet, I don't think. So let's do another 3 of these and 1 on each side. So 1, 2, 3, and 1, and 1, 2, 3, and 1. Okay. Now, if I hold this up, I think it's going to be plenty big enough by the time we get the clasp on. So I am going to add 1 more little fire polish to it on either side. And then let's scoot these out of the way. And we're going to do the clasp the same way we've been doing it. So we're going to put our clamshell on, our 2 beads, scoot these up to the end. Shoot, I knew that was going to happen. Okay, mash them down good. You don't want them coming loose. And pull this up. We're going to do this side, same thing. And I know I didn't close that lobster yet, or that clamshell yet. I'm just kind of didn't want everything to fall off this side. So we're going to let our gravity do the work, and we're going to crimp these down over here. And again, you may have to open this to get to that bottom one. Sometimes they can be difficult. There we go. Okay. Trim this off and close it right up. Put a dot of glue in there if you want to. Okay. And then we are going to add our lobster. So here's, let me get a ring for it to hook onto right here. There we go. And then a ring to hook the lobster on with. And here we have our 3rd set of his and her. So this is his. And this is hers. And these 2 aren't identical, but I still think they're pretty close. And I think I am going to hang this leaf, if I can do another of these with this long ring, this long head pin. I think I'm going to hang this leaf too. So I'm just going to, I'm not going to do as big of a wrap on this one, but I'm just going to make a nice little dangle. Because I have this 1 leaf left, what am I going to do with 1 leaf, you know? If it was a single challenge, then I could use it on something else as a dangle or whatever. But with this being his and hers, I would have to have another one. So I do not. That flip to the side. I hope that'll straighten up here in a second. It's very, I'm never a fan of Bracelet drilled anything. Everybody knows that. That's followed me for any time at all. It's just, I think it's a necessary evil. But we get a lot of Bracelet wrap stuff, so or bracelet drilled stuff, so I've got to learn to use them. You know, I just need to be more versatile, but yeah, I don't like them. I think one of the things that Satan will make people do in hell is wrap bracelets all day long. Wire wrap them. That, along with vacuuming stairs. And, what else? There will be spiders everywhere. That's what I think hell's going to be. Yeah, and that is a really terrible version of this, so that ain't going to work. I can't leave it like that. That's terrible. It's hard to not have regular wire, so this is a lesson on what to do when you don't have what you need. And now I've got the wire stuck in the bracelet drilled thing. So see, this is why I hate bracelet drilled. So now I've got to shove this wire out of here somehow. There we go. Well, that worked easier than I thought it was going to. And do a better job here. All right, let's make our triangle. Let's slow down and do this right. Make the triangle. There it is. Okay, hold this. We're going to bend this one around. We're going to hold this one. Actually, it's probably better if I hold it here. And just wrap it around a couple of times because I don't want a huge wrap with this. So there's one. And half. Okay. I'm going to straighten that up. That's much better than the last effort that I did on this. And close this little snag. All right. Much better so far. Let's bend this 90 degrees. Come up and over and around. We're going to grab this and wrap. Yeah, this is turning out to be much better. It's nice when you take your time and do it right. Right. There we go. And then we can tuck that little snag. All right, that's much better. And then I'm just going to hang it from this little spot over here. So we have a cute little, let's do it over here. So we have a cute little dangle on there. And there we go. So his and hers. All right, so let me figure out what I'm going to do next. Okay, so I'm back and I've got a length of chain here. Now this is chain I actually created on my own using, because I don't have any chain here, so I was using some gold and bronze jump rings and just made a chain. I've got these 2 flower beads and these little flower beads. We're going to use, this is going to be the female, the girls. I've got some more of these coconut heishi beads and one of each color of the coffee beans. So that's what we're going to use on this one. I do have a clasp here, a lobster clasp, and I've got some ball head pins and some eye pins. Okay, so what we're going to do is create some links using these coconut beads, these flowers, and these flowers. So I've got my eye pins here. So these are going to be the focals right here. And what I'm going to do is just do a couple of the coconut beads and then the flower bead and a couple more of the coconut beads. Just like that. Then we are going to bend this 90 degrees. And we're going to trim this off. Okay, and then just roll back a loop. Like that, okay? I'm going to do the same thing for this one. Okay, just like this. Same thing. Roll this back. there that is. So I've got 2 links here with the flowers. So I'm going to create a little link in the middle with this flower. And I'm just going to do just the small one. Okay, just like that. Now, I'm going to take this chain apart. I wasn't thinking about doing this part, actually. I was just going to do the chain and hook things dangling, but I changed my mind because I'm trying to incorporate these flowers in here because I know that I can't have a whole men's bracelet full of yellow flowers. I mean, I guess I can, but like I said, I'm trying to make this look his and hers. So we want to be able to tell which one's hers. And so we're going to take these and hook them right on here, just like this. Okay, and then here's what we've got. Now, I'm going to take the coffee beans, and I've got 1 of each color here. There's 6 total. So I'm going to dangle a couple of these from here. So we're going to dangle 1 from here, and I think I like that color right there. So I've got ball head pins, and I'm just going to create a wrapped loop. Come under and just wrap here. Okay, trim this off. I'm going to tuck that in so there's not a snag sticking out. And I'm going to make, well, I'm actually going to do all of these on the dangles. So just go ahead and put all of your little coffee beans, make wrapped loops for all of them, and come on back. Okay, so here we are. Now, I think my last segment that I tried to film filmed upside down. So, oh, if it did, I'm very sorry. What I've done is I've used these bronze beads here, and this coconut bead, and then this. And that has helped this, whoops, not be so girly, I think. All right, so I am going to do the same beads, the same order on here that I did over here. So let's undo this so we can see what we're doing. Okay. All right, so I'm going to do this reddish one. We're going to do him right here. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. I guess they're going to flop all around anyway. And then this one over here. Okay. And now down on here, I'm not going to do the flowers first. Like, I'm going to do the coffee bean, which is what I did over here. So I guess I'm just doing the same thing. So we're going to do this coffee bean here. I am questioning these flowers, but I mean, that's as masculine as I can get them to look. And I know that it's not ideal, but I think it'll be okay. I hope. We'll see. All right, so we're going to put the coffee bean right here. And maybe I should just leave these off. I mean, it definitely looks more masculine without them, but then I'm not sure what I'm going to do with them. So let's do that. And then this one, I'm just going to put right here. I think we're going to have to do that without the flowers. There's just too many of them. Okay, so here's what we've got. I am going to use this other flower here and hang it on the end of this just as a little dangle on here. So I'm just going to open this up, put it right on here. Okay. So then we need to put our lobster on. Obviously, we do not need this much chain. So I am going to even it up right here, about where I am on this other one. Attach the lobster right here. So I'm just kind of doing it even with this one. Now let me try. Yeah, and we definitely don't need that much hanging down. So I think probably right about here, we'll go ahead and remove this and then check it again. Okay, so let's take that off. And I think that's pretty good because a guy can, you know, clasp it wherever he would need to on here, but it's pretty big already, so that should be good. So there is our his and hers. This is set number 4, and this one is a little more feminine than I would want to do for a guy, I think, but like I said, you know, everybody is different, and it's not super girly. And I guess if you're a guy and you're wearing it with your girlfriend or your wife, or, you know, if it's his and hers and you're together and wearing it, then, you know, it's going to make a little bit more sense, hopefully. But there they are. They are cute. So let's see what else we can come up with. This is set number 4. So there they are. And hold on. Okay, so we are back with the next set. Now I am out back on my parents' porch. Trying to get some natural light, and I'm hoping this will be a little bit better filming situation than inside. I don't know, but we'll see how it goes. So we're going to do the girls version. So for this one, I have made a bunch of little bead dangle things, and I'm going to show you how I did that, how I make my loops. I have a lobster, I have several eye pins, I have a couple of these coconut spacer beads that I've been using with this set. I've got a lobster, I said that, didn't I? And am I using this? Yes, I am apparently going to use this ring. So I put this all together yesterday, and I can't remember what I was doing. So I'm going to have to remember what I was doing. Here's a ring for the lobster to clasp onto, possibly. Here's a few extra beads, and I have some jump rings. I do have some jump rings to go in the middle of these heart beads. These are 8mm, I believe, and then I am using these heart beads from the box. So this is going to be the girls' version of this bracelet. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make, let's get all this out of the way. Well, we can make our dangles first. So let me show you how I do that. So I take a ball head pin. You can use a regular head pin. I just like to use ball head pins for wrapped loops because they're easier to twist, to wrap. Okay, so I'm going to bend this 90 degrees. I'm going to take my round nose pliers and come up and over, rotate these up and come on around, and then you've got a little loop there. And I'm going to grab, and you can wrap with your finger or you can wrap with your pliers, whatever works for you. And I'm going to cut this right off, just like that. And there we have little wrapped loop. Now you can tuck this in if it's poking out. Straighten up your loop a little. And I've done, I think, 12 of these. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 12 of these little dangles. And I just did them random. I mean, I added in. So I've used, the beads that I've used on this, I guess I should tell you that, are the saucer beads. these little copper tone fire polish beads and the little, I think these are called pinch beads. And a couple, where are they? They're here somewhere. Where are you? Oh, a couple of these red toned fire polish beads that were in the box. Okay, so that's what I've got. And that's what I made the little dangles with. And like I said, I just kind of did them randomly. I didn't really do any, didn't do the same thing on any of them. I just kind of did them randomly. So, after you make your dangles, 12 of those, we're going to make some links. So, I'm going to probably do this fire polish bead, the saucer bead. Oh, will they not go on here? They may not go on these. Oh, that one will. Okay. And then I'm going to do my heart beads, but I'm going to do them, let's see, do I want to do them like this or like this? Let's see here. Actually, I'm going to take that off. Do I like them better like that? They look kind of like butterflies like that. Or do I like them better like this? I think I like them this way a little bit better. It's really cute. So we're going to put the heart bead on. Then I'm going to do the saucer. I'm going to do the saucer in between them, I think. And then the other heart bead. Yeah, that is really cute. And then I'm going to do, I have a few of these extras out here. I'm going to do another one of these guys. Just like that. And then I'm going to make a very small loop because I don't have much room left. Don't crack your bead. Be kind of careful, but just come up, bend it 90 degrees. It does not have to be a big loop. It can be a very small loop, and it will be just fine for what we're going to do. So let me make this little loop here because I'm about out of head pin space. And like I said, I'm at my parents' house, so I don't have all of my stuff. I don't have my wire. I don't have, a lot of the extra head pins and stuff that I normally could probably find a longer one. But you got to make do with what you got. So there's that one. It is super cute. Okay, we're going to do the exact same thing over here. So let me get a couple more. Those two and these two. And so I'm going to do this guy. Same thing. And I know I don't have to put the saucer in between. Like, I could skip that, but I really like it. There's something biting my foot. Okay, there we go. Goodness. I am outside on their back porch, the back deck. It's a beautiful day here. Now, see, this head pin's a little longer, so we're good. That one was short. Or eye pin, I guess you should say. But still, I'm going to trim it a little because I like my loops to be pretty small anyway. And we're going to roll this back. Okay, so there's that one. Make sure it's closed. I didn't get it closed all the way. There we go. Okay, so we've got these two. Now, I've kind of tried to decide what I want to do here. Do I want to put some of these on? I think I do want to do a couple of these in the middle because the guy's bracelet's going to have them on there, and so I kind of really want them to match. So let's do a saucer bead. Okay, let's do a saucer bead. One of these. Let's just make a little, this would be kind of cool just to make a little element here in the middle like this. Yeah, kind of like that. Because I want the guy's bracelet and the girl's bracelet to be, I don't know. I want them to have the same beads and be, you want to be able to tell that they're a set. So, okay. So I'm just going to roll this back. And there we have it. Okay. So here's what I've got. Now, I'm going to take these jump rings here, which are 8mm. Now I need one more. I literally have all of my stuff in bowls right now, paper bowls. It is, it's hard to be organized when you're not in your own space, let me just tell you. Okay, so I'm going to take these jump rings, and hook them onto these links. Okay, so just like this. And the other side. Okay, so here's what we've got. Now, I'm trying to put something else on my camera over here to balance it. Oh, sorry guys, it keeps kind of moving. I don't know what's going on there. Okay, so here's what we've got. Now we're going to take these little guys and we're going to put them on the jump ring here in the middle. So I want to kind of space them out. I don't want the exact same ones right beside each other. Let's do 3 there. Here with this guy here. Let's see, that one needs to go there. We'll do him, and I do have one left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh no, he goes over here. Okay, so there we have it. And all I'm going to do is open my jump ring, and I don't want to attach these with jump rings because I want them to kind of stick out and stick up a little bit. So I'm just going to open this jump ring. If I can find the opening. There it is. There it is. Okay. And this is a little tricky, but I shouldn't have put this link on yet. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this link off. I'm going to put these 3 over here. 2 and 3. Then I'm going to put this link back on. See, that's going to separate those from these. And then I'm going to put these 3 on. So 1, 2. Well, that one fell off, didn't he? It's a little fiddly to get them all on there, but 2 and 1 more. 3. And then you just want to close this jump ring up really well so that nothing falls out. And there we have it. And it makes like little fireworks in the middle. That's what I would call them. I think they're cute. So we're going to do the same thing on this other side. And I'm sorry, I shouldn't have told you to put your links on yet, but I did. So excuse me for that, please. 1, 2, 3. This guy on. And the other 3. 1, 2, 3. Alrighty, let's close this one up. Whoops, don't do that. Behave, you little creature, behave. Okay, there we go. And there's what we've got. So we got little fireworks going on in between. I think that is really cute. Okay, so now we all know that a woman's bracelet needs to be between like 6.5 to 7.5, somewhere around in there. And it's good if you can make it adjustable, actually. So I need to add, I've got a clasp here, which I'm going to do, I think like this. I've been kind of debating how I wanted to do this, but I need to add a little bit more to it because that's not going to be long enough. Okay, so what can we do here? I don't have any chain. I am totally at a disadvantage. I could just do a jump ring. Actually, let me put that guy back up there. I may do a couple of jump rings. That'd be kind of cute. So mix the rose gold and the copper like that. And then we'll see how long that makes it. I may add another copper jump ring. Let me grab one. Oh, I'm going to have to... That's going to make my camera dip again. Don't do that. I don't know what's wrong with you. Why are you doing this? You didn't do this in the house. I'm going to have to find like a rock or something to set on it. It's not cooperating very well. I'm so sorry. Okay, let me find another copper jump ring. Ooh, it is hot out here too. I thought I was going to be able to stay out here, but I don't think so. I think my next video is going inside. It is really hot out here. Well, my mom, she's like, it's going to be 90 degrees today, which 90 degrees in Florida is not this hot. It doesn't feel like it, but they have really high humidity here too, so that must have something to do with it. Yeah, it's really hot. I'm sweaty. And my mom she's hilarious. She has no comprehension of the fact that I'm filming, okay? So just now, a few minutes ago, she opens the door and she's like, hey, do you want to put the umbrella up? And I'm like, pause. No, I don't need to put the umbrella up. The reason I'm out here is because I need this light. But she's like, okay. And then she starts talking to the dog. Do you want to come in, Chewy? She cracks me up. She like has no, she just doesn't. Of course, they don't get it. I don't even think they watch my YouTube channel, to be honest with you. My own parents don't even watch me, but yeah, they're totally oblivious to the whole situation on how to film, and which I don't blame them. I kind of am too, and I do it for a living, so yeah. But she's funny. Okay, I'm trying to find a jump ring, so I'm going home. Let's see, I'm here until, how long am I here? I'm here until the 27th. There we have it. And then I'm going home for a couple of days, and then I'm coming back. So yeah, I've got to bring back some supplies with me. Thank God for Amazon. I mean, I have been all over Amazon the last few days. I've been like, oh my goodness, I need, so here's an example, bead caps. I get on Amazon, you can get a package of like every color bead cap. I don't know how many's in here. It was like $8 or $6. I was like, oh, heck yes. So, here they are. I don't know how many's in there, but look, they're all different colors, all different sizes, and I think they were like $6.97. I was so excited. So the Amazon guy is probably wondering who the heck has moved in here and why, but I don't have my stuff here. It's really difficult. So, and I don't want to go on a crazy spending, I'm trying not to do that. It's very addicting. Like, I could get on Amazon and spend $1,000 in just a few minutes. So I'm trying to be very careful with what I do, but I have to have, certain supplies for the jewelry making. I had to order crimp beads, and they were very inexpensive too, and a whole thing of lobster clasps. So where are they? Oh, they're on my camera, so I can't show you. But there's this whole big, and it's like every color of lobsters for like $8. I was so excited. I think there's like 500 of them or something. So yeah, if you haven't shopped Amazon for your jewelry making supplies, let me just say, there's some good deals on there, and it comes like the next day, and you don't even have to leave your house. I mean, how lazy can we be, right? So yeah. I figured that out. I mean, I knew about Amazon, obviously, but I have kind of figured out the wonderful convenience and necessity of it since I've been here this last week. So, yeah. Much to Chris's dismay. I'm sure Chris is like, oh, this is terrible. And I've been shipping things here to my parents' house. So, Chris ordered something that he needed shipped to him, and it came here because he didn't, know to change the address because I didn't tell him I was shipping things here. So, I gotta take that home now when I go. So, it has been crazy. Oh, Lord, it is hot out here. Why is Ohio so hot? It's not supposed to be this hot. I live in Florida. I should be immune to this. What is going on? Oh, okay. So, here is what we have. This is cute. I was a little worried about this. Oh, it's not long enough, though. We're gonna have to add some more jump rings. Okay. So, I'm not going to do that right now because it's freaking hot outside, and I still have to do the guys version. I may just go inside. But anyway, add some more jump rings. Get it to the length you need it to be. And if you have chain, obviously, chain is the much simpler way to do this. But like I said, I don't have any, and I didn't order any. I need to order some from Amazon because I can't bring chain back on the plane. That's going to be too heavy. Oh, yeah. Okay. I've got to get on there and order some chain for when I come back here next week. Yeah. I'll have to get a second job just to afford to be here with my parents, I think, because I'm having to buy everything on Amazon. But it's really, oh, it's awesome, you guys. It really is. It's so convenient. So convenient. Okay. I'm still looking. I'm just looking for some more jump rings because I think that I'm definitely going to have to make that longer. Which is different. Usually I'm having trouble with my bracelets being too long, but this is This is a different scenario for me. And look, some of those jump rings are fatter than others. That's all right. We are making do with what we have, right? See, I didn't order jump rings on Amazon. Apparently I should. What's this guy? He might work better. No, he's... What are you? Are you big? You're kind of weird. Alrighty. So, I just heard a loud noise out here. Okay. So anyway, add more jump rings to that. I'm going to try to do that. Here's one. I'm going to try to do the guy's bracelet while I'm out here so I don't have to pick all this up and but man, it's hot. So let's do the guy's bracelet real quick. Add more jump rings to your girl's bracelet. I'm sweating. So let's get this out of the way. We're going to do the guys. The guys is kind of easy. We're just going to do stringing on the guys because obviously I didn't really want to use these heart beads on the guys. That's pretty girly. So, here's what we're going to do. Now, I did order some crimp beads from Amazon because I was crimping so wrong, and I just know that I'm going to get a lot of flack over that. I'm going to have people like, you are crimping wrong. And I'm going to be like, yes, I know, but I've explained that in this video. I am not at home and I do not have, so there was this, again, Amazon, we love you. There was this little kit of, look, all these crimp tubes. So these are tiny ones. They're different sizes, all different colors, and the little crimpers. Oh, and it was like $8 for that whole kit. I was so excited. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We are going to hook onto this right here. So here's how we're going to do it. We're going to take our crimpers that I just ordered. Now, I'm just using crimp beads on this one. So I'm going to go, and you know what? I need to use Wire Guardians, don't I? Do I? No, this is, this is like too, I don't know, maybe it's not too big for Wire Guardian. Let me look here. Yeah, it really is. See that? I mean, that Wire Guardian's going to get hung up in there if I do that. And it, maybe. Oh, maybe not. Okay, maybe that'll work. Okay, I don't have any copper Wire Guardians. Amazon, where are you? We're just going to use what I've got for now, which is antique bronze. Don't hate on me, people. I'm doing the best that I can do. Okay, so let's put our crimp bead on. This is bead stringing wire. So this is 7-strand bead along, bead stringing wire. That's all this is. And I have cut it just, in a length so that I can make this bracelet and be able to do it without, it being too hard here. So it's like, I've got like 8 or 9 inches, something like that. Maybe, well, probably more than that. I've probably got 10 or 11 inches. Okay, so I'm just putting this guy on. Now, wait a minute. I've got to put this on here. I'm putting it right on the ring that I'm using, see? And we're going to go right in here. I can literally feel the sweat rolling down my back. It is so hot out here. I don't know what's going on. Okay, I'm a Florida girl. I should not be this wimpy. Okay, so we're going to do the little... I have to look at these every time. So we have to put this in the divot. This is not like my normal Bizarron crimpers. And actually the divot's supposed to go this way. Yes, it is. Okay, so we lay this in this little divot right here. We take our crimping. Why is my camera? Oh, it is recording. Okay, I couldn't see. I about had a heart attack right there. I'm like, I can't refilm this. It's too hot to be out here. Okay, so there we go. We put that in the little, and we crimp down. Now, this is not the best quality crimping pliers. I am aware of that. And it's not the best quality crimps. I am aware of that as well. But at least it's the legal way to do it, right? So there we have it. We have it. Oh, no. Obviously, I did not do it very tight. Don't do this to me on film. Now it won't come off, though. Look. It's like, no. I'm stuck for life. Okay, let's redo you. So, always pull on your crimps, people. Always, always, always. Maybe I should use the crimp tubes. Maybe that's the problem here. But I don't have any copper ones. That's the problem here. Yeah. Oh, shoot. I'm going to use the rose gold, guys, because, I mean, I don't want it coming undone. Crimp tubes are much better. Even though these aren't, like, really good quality crimp tubes at that, but, you don't want it coming undone. Now, on my illegal crimping job, nothing came loose, right? I get and do the right way, and it falls apart. Okay, here we go. let's just put this right in here. And we're going to come around the other side. Now, let's put our ring on here. Pull this. Yeah, it's not optimal to use. I really would not use gold. I mean, I don't know. I love to mix metals. I can't say I wouldn't, and it may turn out, hopefully it'll turn out looking alright. If it doesn't, y'all just use different colors. I mean, I'm just giving you ideas here. That's all I'm doing. Okay, let's crimp this bad boy down. Now look, Mr. Crimp, you have got to do better. So I've got my little pliers. These are crappy crimping pliers. I get it. I need my Zuron. Zuron, where are you? They're back in Florida waiting for me to come home. Okay, we're going to turn this and put it in here, and hopefully, see, the problem is I can see right now it is not crimping the middle. Why are you doing this? Do I have it in the right? Maybe I'm doing it wrong. I'm not used to these crimping pliers. No, I'm pretty sure I'm doing it right. Squeeze. Squeeze tightly. Why are you doing this? Yeah, we're going to have to go back to our illegal crimping method. This ain't working. This is not working one bit, and I'm doing it. I mean, there's only one way. Why? It's like the pliers don't completely close or something. What in the world? Yeah, no, this is not working. Alright, guys. So, I know y'all hate me for using this illegal method, but clearly that isn't going to work. So that's it. I mean, I'll still use the crimps probably, but those crimping pliers, those are the ones that came with the set. So, what we do in this situation is we pull out, where are they? Don't tell me they're on my camera thing, weighing it down. They are. I will be right back. I will be right back. Oh, Lord, let me. Alrighty, illegal crimping method, we are back on to you. So, here's what we're going to do. Oh no, now my phone is, sorry guys, I'm really struggling out here today. Why are you doing this? Why are you not tight? Hold on. Okay, I do not have the time or the energy for my tripod to be messing up right now. Alright, so we are going to come up through the clamshell right here. We are going to put on 2 crimps. Because you know what? My illegal crimping method I've had no problem with, but this other way is not working. Okay, we're going to smash that flat, and we're going to smash this one flat. So here's the deal. You've got 2 crimps on this wire. If one comes loose, if one fails, you have a backup. And you can even stick a little glue in here if you want to. Now, I don't have any glue. Amazon. No, I don't have any glue. So we're just going to do it this way. And, you know, I'm probably not going to sell these or anything like that. So it'll be all right. So let's do the same with the second. You just smash it down with your chain nose pliers and make sure that it's on there really good, okay? And then you close up this little clamshell now. Like I said, you can stick some glue in there if you are freaking out about it, and that's fine. If you're going to sell them or give them away, absolutely put some glue in there if you have to do it this way. If you're going to sell them or give them away, just don't do it this way. Get your good crimps and your good crimpers and do it that way, but since I don't have that option at the moment, we're doing it this way. And like I said, I'm not having any trouble with this. So tug it, make sure it's tight, close it up. Alrighty, so we're going to string this up. Now, here's the deal. This is up to your own creative control, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to string it. I'm just going to string probably randomly. I don't know. Maybe well, yeah. I don't think I have enough beads to do like one thing on each strand, like one type of bead on each strand. I could do a pattern. Just getting everything else out of the way. But I don't know if I want to do a pattern. So let's just start here. And I hope I have enough beads to even do this. Okay. So, and that's why I'm using these coconut connectors. If you don't have the coconut connectors, which most people probably don't, you can use anything. You can use spacer, you know, flat spacers, anything, really, literally anything will work. So, you know, just don't freak out. Find something that works and it'll be okay. We gotta learn to improvise, people. We have got to learn to improvise. It's not hard. Saves you lots of worry and stress and money on Amazon sometimes. Alright, so I'm just beating this guy up randomly. I'm not even looking for a pattern. No, I'm not. It's just going to be 3 strands of pure, luscious, beautiful, random beadness. That's what it's going to be. Ooh. So, my mom and dad have these hummingbirds. And their neighbor across the fence there, she has hummingbird feeders out. So everybody's got these hummingbird feeders out. And there are these 3 hummingbirds, and they're so funny to watch. The one, he's got a red throat. And he is like the bully of the block, I guess. I don't know. He sits up there. There's some electrical wires that go across their backyard, or telephone wires, whatever. And he sits up there and he watches from those wires. And if any other bird, any other hummingbird comes and tries to get on the feeder, he is on it, man. I mean, he's down there and he runs them off. He is vicious. So, I've enjoyed watching them. They're fun. He's fun to watch, but man, he's a bully. You just want to tell him, you are not being very kind, and you're going to reap this one day. You're going to reap what you sow. He probably will. I don't have the time or the energy to teach him better manners right now. Just gonna have to be that way. Alright. And I may just do 2 strands on this, depending on how many beads I have, because I may not have enough to do 3. It's looking a little dicey. Looking a little dicey. And I'm okay with there being a lot of this one bead, this off-white bead, because the big hearts are the off-white beads on that one. So I'm okay with that. So we do have to keep in mind that we have a clasp to put on, same as the other one. And I'm going to do this and this. So we need to make sure that we, you know, figure that in on your length, because you don't want it to be too crazy short or too crazy long. Let's do, oh gosh, I don't know. Let's do this. So, bead up your 3 strands. If you don't have enough beads to do 3, just do 2. It really will be okay. I don't know if I'm going to have enough beads to do 3. But bead your strands, get them to about the length that you want, minus about 1.5 inches, because this is going to end up being about 1.5 inches to 2 inches when we're finished, okay? So, bead your 3 strands up and come right on back. Okay, so am I filming? Yes, I have all 3 of my strands done, and let me just tell you, Sam's bead box, Sam is magical. I mean, look at this. This is all I have left, and I had enough to do 3 full strands of, I mean, he's magical. Sam is magical. Okay, so we're going to do the same illegal crimping. We're going to put it right through here, and we're going to do these 2 crimps. Now on this end, sometimes you have to open up your little clamshell connector to be able to get down in there. And it's easy to do. You just bend it open a little and see, then you can get your pliers in there a little bit better to crimp these down. And I'm just going to crimp it, making sure there's no loose wire backing through here. You don't want that. And I'm just going to press it down. Alrighty, and tug it. If it comes loose, then that's bad, but you want it to come loose here and not while somebody's wearing it. So there we go, and we're going to close it up, and there is 1 strand. Okay, crimp your other 2 strands closed. Okay, so I'm laughing because my mom's out here again. She literally has no concept of, like, Wendy's filming a video. No. Okay, so I can take 1 of these jump rings. I was going to do 3, and hook them on, but that's not going to work. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go 1, 2, and 3, and we're going to hook it right onto here. Just like that. Okay. Lay them out so they're not, you know, you kind of want them in the same. It doesn't really matter. You could even braid these. That would be kind of cool to like braid it. I mean, it's a guy's bracelet, and if you wanted to like do this kind of a thing here, this would be really cool, I think. But it may take up too much slack so that it wouldn't fit. I don't know. Let's see. I mean, you could always add more jump rings, I guess, or something. Yeah, that's cool to do, but it's gonna, well, I don't know, maybe it wouldn't take me. That is cool to do though. Look at that. How's it look on? Ooh, I like that. I'm not gonna do it, but I like it. But you can do it if you want, but I'm afraid it's gonna make it too short, and I don't want to. It's like 150 degrees out here right now, and I'm dying, so we're not gonna play around. Well, I'm sorry if y'all hear dogs barking. Like I said, I'm out back. Okay, I'm just going to add these 3 and put the lobster on. Now, I don't know if this is long enough. I may have to add another jump ring or 2. Probably not for a guy. So let me do this. Let me just add one more. Let me add another 2 jump rings right here. Or just maybe one more right here. That gives it a little bit of extra. Of course, you can make it as long as you want. You know that, right? Okay. And then if I wasn't extremely burning up and dying, I would add another jump ring to the other end, but you get the point, right? So here's the his. Here's our hers. Super cute. And I know they're not identical by any means, but, you know, you got the same beads on there. It really is cute. You can definitely tell they're a matched pair. So, alright, I'm going to pause this video, move this whole operation inside, and then I'll be back to do the last set. Okay, so we're back, and we have got our very, very last set here. So this one is super quick and simple. You're going to need a little bit of bead stringing wire, and the reason this one is so super quick and simple is because we're running out of stuff. So Sam's box is just fantastic. He has got so much stuff packed into it, and I'm going to show you here in a minute all of the bracelets that we've made. But first, we're going to make these last 2, and like I said, these are going to be very quick and simple. And I am back inside now at my parents' house, so I am not dying anymore in the air conditioning. I'm a wimpy girl, I guess. Okay. All right, so we've got the pieces. You just need one piece of bead stringing wire per bracelet, okay? And then we're going to string on. This is what we have left. So we have the moonstone beads, a few of these Hessian garnet beads, and 3 of the flowers. And then I'm adding in these, what are these? Spacer beads from my own stash. And then we'll use the same beads on the other one with little different spacers. So the first thing I'm going to do is just string this guy on. And again, this is going to be like the easiest bracelet you've ever seen, literally. We are stringing 1 of these on either side. Okay, then the next flower on either side. The next garnet bead. These are so hard to see the holes in. They're just, you kind of have to just play and find them. They are rolling around on the bead mat, but they're so hard to, because they're so teeny tiny. Okay, I'm not finding it. There we go. Pick it up and just find that little hole in there. Okay, so there's what we have. So now I'm going to do a couple of these moonstone. Are these moonstone? Peach moonstone? I'll have to look. They're so pretty. I'm going to do a couple of these on each side. Now these were graduated. They went from smaller to larger, but I am just mixing the sizes. I'm not really paying attention to that. I've set some of them aside for the guy's bracelet. So, you know, it's not really a big deal. They're just Heishi style, so you do them however you want to. And again, I'm having trouble with the holes. Okay, so there's those. Now I'm going to add one of these little spacers, and these again are just from my own stash. I think they're a 4mm, and then the garnet beads. Okay, so one more spacer. This last garnet bead, whoops. And then I'm going to finish it out with the moonstone and the spacers. So you just need to make sure that you get your length. And remember, you've got a clasp that's going to go on, so you'll have to figure in the space for that. And the clasp is going to be about 1.5 inches by the time we're finished. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and put these on, 2 of these moonstone beads and then 1 of the metal spacers. And I'm trying to save the big ones, these bigger ones, until the end, but it doesn't really matter. They're all very similar in size. So go ahead and bead this up until you have reached the end or used all of your beads, and then come on back and we will add the clasp and finish it. Okay, so here we are. We've got it all strung up. I am going to I've done 6 spacer beads on the end of each side, and then we're going to just do the regular crimp that we've been doing. So put that clamshell on, 2 beads, crimp beads. Get your chain nose pliers and crimp them down. Move this guy up and close it. Now the other side, same thing. Okay, close this up. Just like that. Okay, here's our bracelet. Look how cute. I know it's simple. We're going to add our ring and our lobster on with a jump ring. So we're going to do this bigger ring over here. And our lobster down here. Just trying to find the cut in the... Okay, that one didn't look like it had one. I'm glad it did. And just put this one on here. Let me line this up. Sometimes these close a little crooked. Just line it up. Put this guy in. Add our lobster and close it. And here we have it. Super cute. Okay, now the guys is just as easy. We're literally doing the same thing, just stringing it up. So again, I'm not using any of the yellow flower beads because, you know, I didn't really care for that on the guy's bracelet. On the other one, I just used it because that's, you know, I had to. But yeah, I think on this one we're just going to do a single strand of these plain beads, just like that one, except for without the flowers. And I think it will be just, it'll be dainty, but just something small and minimal that a guy can wear if he doesn't want to wear a whole big bunch. And it will match the girdle here. Okay, so I'm just going to bead this one up. I'm not even going to use a pattern. I'm just going to go with it. Trim that off. These moonstone beads have tiny little holes. So I did bring out some spacer beads on this one as well. There are these, which are kind of a corrugated, see that, a corrugated spacer, and then some plain round ones. And I'm just going to try to mix all the beads well. So, you know, not have all the spacers beside each other or all the moonstone beside each other. But again, I'm just doing it random. So string this one up until you get the length that you need, and we'll come back and finish it. Okay, so we got it all strung up. We are going to do our last couple of crimps, and I seem to not have put any crimp beads out here. So let me remedy that. Here we go. And I don't really, I mean, I'm trying to pick out the copper or bronzish ones, but they're under that clamshell, so it's not like that it's a big deal if you grab a silver or something. It's not going to show. So let's put our clamshell on. And our 2 beads, crimp beads. Whoops. Okay, we're going to close this one right up. And then we're going to put our ring and our lobster on, and that, I think it'll be long enough. We may have to add a jump ring or 2, but whoops. Okay, right on here. This is a thick jump ring, so I'm going to grab it like this because this is an easier way to close them when they're really thick. See that? It just closes right up. And then we're going to do this one. And here we have another his and her set. Let's make sure it's big enough. Oh yeah, it should be. Using Sam's bead box, and we have used every single bead in the entire box except for the ones that Danielle is keeping out for her bracelet, which are the seed beads, the tilas, and the button. But we have used every other bead in Sam's box. So here is one set, his and hers. Okay, see these with the flowers, the one we just did. And I may have to add a couple jump rings to that. It does look really small, but you know, that's something we can always do. No big deal. So there's one, his and hers. Here is another. So this is hers. And here is his. And again, these are quite similar, but you know, not the same because we didn't put the flowers on here. We used these other beads instead. But his and hers. Then we have this set. I love this flower so much, and felt like those two went pretty well together with the leaves coordinating these beads and the golds. But like I didn't, you know, obviously have another flower to put on there, but there's that his and hers. set. Then we've got this one with the bronzite. So we've got his set here, or his bracelet there, her bracelet here. And we've just added some sparkle in here, some bead caps to just give it a little feminine touch. But these are very coordinated, obviously, his and hers. Then we have this set. So here's hers with this dragonfly bead, really pretty. And then his, I did with these table cut. They have the same kind of pattern in there as the dragonfly beads. And we've used the same beads all around. So again, his and hers. And our last one is the one we did just a minute ago. So we've got the 3-strand for him. And we've got the same beads, other than the hearts. You know, the hearts aren't on his, but we have used coordinating beads. So we've got his and hers. So we've made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 his and hers bracelets from Sam's Bead Box. And we did not even use the things that Danielle is keeping out for her bracelet. So wow, Sam and his team, you guys are magical. That's all I can say. Just magical. But yeah, I think these turned out pretty good. Tell me what you think. And like I said, I know that some of them may not be as masculine as some guys would like. I get that. But, you know, I have to work with what I have. And the challenge, you just let me know if you think that I reached the challenge or not. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. This has been a fun one. It's been a challenging one, but it's been a fun one, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.